I don't know, does everybody know everybody? You want to do a round table? Maybe we better,
That'd be great, thanks. Oh, you want me to
You
start,
get to
Mr. Chair?
well, we'll do it for you, but yeah, go ahead.
Andy Hunthausen, County Commissioner.
Debbie Carlson, board member.
Jackie Laverde, your board member.
Jim Dusenberry, board member.
Dale Taylor, board, Craig board.
Mike Taylor, Craig Board.
Dave Tudor, board member.
Sorry, I'm Jessica Makis. I'm the Special Districts Coordinator for the county.
Keegan Shea, Deputy County Attorney.
Jenny Chambers, Public Works Director.
Christian Leonard, Lewis and Clark County, Noxious Weed Division Supervisor.
Jade Wills, admin for Noxious Weed and Special Districts.
Just for my clarification, because I'm kind of probably the dumbest one on the board. What does your position do as far as coordinating? Is it special districts?
So I oversee the special districts for the county. So that includes the rural improvement districts throughout the county. And now with a new organizational alignment with Public Works, I now oversee the weed and the mosquito divisions within the county. Under Jenny.
Boy, we're supervised. Now you know where you're at. I guess I have a tough time gathering. We meet once a year. We have one budget and we'll operate for 3 months. Why does that take a 12-month-a-year supervisor for that and weeds? I'm not picking on your position, don't, but I'm just trying to get clear. I mean, I'm listening to Trump talk about why the hell do we spend all this extra money? So what do we do?
Chairman, if I can, just to add, just because the staff fall under Public Works as far as capacity. When she says she supervises, it's not necessarily that she supervises you guys as the mosquito district board. But there are regulations and rules that, you know, in state statute that oversee special districts as a whole. And so Jessica's job is to make sure that we're consistent with the state statute and if those regulations change. And legislative sessions in place right now. And there are several bills, a couple bills associated with special districts. So if those change or get modified, then that would look at the regulations based upon how this was formed and advise you guys in that capacity if there's something you would need to do as board members associated with that special districts. She supervises Christian and Jade based upon the staff, but the mosquito district right now does not pay for any of her time. That's covered by the commission's general fund appropriation of filling your staff. So
Districts?
there's more. There's also all of the rural improvement districts. So there's 157 rural improvement districts across the county. In addition, we're starting to roll Jessica into the solid waste special district. So we have 4 solid waste districts within Lewis and Clark County as well. That also Public Works helps oversee and provides coordination and staff assistance to those boards. So yeah, it's pretty complicated. Plus there's some lighting districts, there's some cemetery districts. There's fire district. She helps with fire. She sometimes helps with the water and sewer districts. If some of those folks have questions, they're a little bit different authority than maybe the rural improvement districts on the roads and stormwater infrastructure. Like you guys at the mosquito district have a little bit different authority than maybe the scratch gravel solid waste district. So yeah, it's not necessarily that the staff is here to supervise you guys. It's just to help to provide support and coordination. And there's a lot of other programmatic activities she does in addition to just the guidance and assistance to the boards.
I'm not trying to be facetious or a smart ass or anything, but after the last couple of meetings, I'm wondering, why are we there? Dale said it really good in our last meeting. I mean, we got all these supervisors and all these people sitting around in here in the room, this county. What do you need us for? I guess that's where I'm heading with this whole thing after visiting with Keegan and going through what Dave and I did. I mean, we're nothing. We're just basically an ornament to come in the room here and bless these 2 things that we drafted up and leave. Pretty much. Can't disagree with
No,
that.
I am disagreeing with you because I think the Board of County Commissioners respect and value the input from the citizens that volunteer on these boards. And I think as the Public Works, we do as well. And so we did listen to you guys during some of those subcommittee meetings and some of the boards and made changes associated with input that you provided. And I think moving forward, that is what you'll see. You'll see that we'll ask for recommendations. You guys will provide your information based upon the direction you want to head. And what all our role is to make sure it falls in line with statutes, that it meets our processes within the county that have been laid out. The commissioners have asked staff to kind of oversee and guide you in that direction. If there's something you really want to do that's certainly aligned with that, we're gonna bring that forward on your behalf, or you're, like I've indicated before, you're more than welcome to present those same issues to the Board of County Commissioners in those meetings. It's just, as a volunteer board, sometimes the committee's okay with the staff presenting that based upon the guidance that you guys have provided. And the direction you have provided us to move forward with.
I spouted off into the questions. So, did everybody get to read the minutes of the last meeting? Is there any corrections or additions to the minutes of the last meeting? Hearing none, hear a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the first thing, I guess, on our agenda for the day is our resolution that we have to put together that says we can be a mosquito district and that we are organizing. It's the resolution 2025 XXX.
Which confused me for a while, because I kept thinking, well, it's 24XX. And I realized that's the date. Thank you, the year. So many numbers. Okay, that was kind of confusing for a while.
The only thing that I'm still at odds with is item 17. And I called and checked with John again today, and we checked with the Department of Health and the Department of Agriculture, and neither of those are requiring anything from us. So is that a non-thing? It's saying that the board shall provide or shall submit.
With that, yes.
Jim,
I'm also.
Yeah, Dave.
doesn't he maintain those anyway?
Well, but this says the board, but he does maintain them, yes.
He does.
But he has them in bulk form, so they've got to be filled down and paired into it. And my thoughts are, if it's a nothing burger, why do we have it in here and they don't require it? DEQ permit is a different thing. John fills out the paperwork, sends it to the county commissioners, they sign it, it goes to the state, and it gets the permit back to operate. These two things are, well, we've argued about action items or deliverables, and I have not verified with the Department of Agriculture, but John did call and talk to both Department of Health and Department of Agriculture, and they said they'll take them, but they don't have any place to go with them or anything to do with them, so.
So this is one of them that's directly out of those old statutes. And that's just the old 2007, 2009 statutes. They just said the mosquito board will be the one to submit these reports.
So if we're approving it in 25, would we want to update that?
I mean,
Yes,
it's,
obsolete now.
this is the legally, I mean, those statutes were repealed, right?
Mhm.
And then 10 years after the fact, the legislature said, oh, no one has updated their boards. We're gonna go ahead and grandfather these repealed statutes. I'm a lawyer and like, I don't know what that means, because when a statute is repealed, you are to treat it as if it never existed. So when the legislature decided to grandfather those a decade later, the lawyers are left scratching their heads. We don't know how to treat those. So if those old statutes were grandfathered and the board is authorized to operate under those statutes, that was one of the requirements. Now, if the practical reality is that DPHHS and Department of Ag don't care who submits them, that's their prerogative, that's their business. But as legal advisor to both the county and the board, that was a statutory requirement, and so that's why I thought it should be included in the resolution. But,
So where do we as a board stand if we don't do this? I mean, this is a volunteer board. And I don't really see spending time on a nothing burger if it's not gonna go anywhere, have any precedence.
yeah, so the thing is, the dangerous thing is I don't know what the risks are. I don't know what the risks are. In theory, the only people who would have standing to, the only people who could get mad at us would be the Department of Health and Human Services, the Department of Ag, and then theoretically a taxpayer. So again, I can't assess the risk if the contractor provides those reports rather than the board. I have no way of assessing that level of risk. The statute says what it says, and even though it was repealed, we're supposed to pay attention to it. So that's why it's in the that explains why we included it in the resolution in the first place. That was because if you go back to those grandfathered statutes, that is one of them that's spelled out plain language, is that the board shall submit these reports. Now, if the practice has always been something different, I'm okay with that, but I can't advise that you get rid of it because it's a statutory requirement.
So somebody out here in the valley gets bit with a mosquito and they're looking for something to come after us with, and they find that in there and find out. that we
No,
haven't been doing that.
It would be a taxpayer who's
That's
like,
what I mean, a taxpayer.
oh, it would be you taxed me and you're not following the procedures you're supposed to follow.
Yeah.
And given the landscape right now and everything.
But that doesn't mean we can't make life miserable for you.
That, yeah, precisely. I mean, whether they prevail or not, it would not be good for the mosquito district and it wouldn't be good for the county to be sued under those circumstances. So I agree, when the legislature grandfathers in a statute that's been repealed for 10 years without any further instruction. I don't know. The statute says that the board will submit the reports. If you guys choose not to, if you choose to have the contractor do that.
Well, can't we just change the wording? The board or the board's representative?
I would think that you guys would just ask your contractor or staff or
We sign
whoever
off on it.
to submit the board, to submit you the report prior to February 1. You just acknowledge it, and then we could do a basic cover letter for the chairman to sign to submit that report on behalf of the board. If you guys just, basically, it needs some kind of public process on minutes that are disclosed to the public that you're reviewing that report, and then you as board members are submitting it. So that if somebody from the public wanted to come and provide comment on that report or provide information based upon what work, so I'm assuming it's a report that summarizes the preceding year and the future year's plan. It gives kind of that work plan, I guess I would say, associated with the mosquito district board. And that we would keep a copy here in the county in case somebody walked in on your behalf. And then it would just be submitted to those folks. What they do with it there is regardless, but it is part of the statutory requirements. And so I don't think what you've done in the past is not correct or right. It's just making sure that maybe it's provided to you, it's in a public meeting, it's an agenda item, it's an action item that you vote on, you guys agree, and then maybe there's just a simple cover letter that's signed by the chairperson to submit that report.
Okay. Any comments?
But just to clarify, I don't know if you could just change the resolution and change your bylaws to get around that, because it is a statutory requirement. So, and again, I don't know what the risk is, but I don't know if you could just I don't know if you could just write your way out of it. I think when they grandfathered those statutes in, they meant that one too.
So the statute says the board rather than the board and the.
That's correct.
Come on in, Dave.
I'm
You know,
sorry.
I worked for Department of Ag,
This
and there
does
was
not
nobody
have a-
to look at anything. And I believe that when I got that, it probably went in the file cabinet unopened.
All the more reason for you guys to look at it and get it on public record.
She says.
Yeah.
Know what to do with it.
Mr. Chair, just
Yeah.
a comment. I think this is a great conversation and it's probably one that might not even have with legislators because. And Keegan can maybe back me up on this, but when we find statutes that are redundant or. Outdated or whatever, we find ourselves having to follow them as written until the legislature or a court gives us other direction. Even if we know that this doesn't make any sense, why are we still doing this? We still have to do it until, because there is, whether you can't tell what that risk is, there's still some risk there. And it's the risk to all of our taxpayers, would have to pay that if we were to violate it and somebody actually found a way to, in that rare case it would happen. So what we typically do at the commission is we try to say, well, we're gonna follow them as written until our legislature changes this. And this is one that we might need to go talk to them about because it seems silly, So that's kind of just a comment on the side. It's sometimes doesn't make sense, but it is the way it is. Is that?
Yeah, lawyers, we call it a legislative fix. Now, what's funny, of course, is the more the legislature tried to fix this particular issue, the more complicated it got. So who knows what lies in store for special districts and some of these boards in the future. But every legislative session, special taxing districts are under the microscope. So, and they are again this year.
So. 2009. They disbanded.
They repealed them, yeah.
Then 10 years later, they
2019.
reinstated them. I guess I have my arms around what happened there.
Yeah. So the term that the legislature, the statute, the title of the statute literally says grandfathered. But they resurrected because it wasn't about keeping them alive. It was actually bringing them back from the dead. And so as a lawyer, it's like, you just don't see that. You just don't see it. I can't find anything like it. Where 10 years later, they say, oh no, you can keep using those statutes, but you have to go to the 2007 code book to find it. It's a unique aberration. It's really hard for me to assess the risk because there's no other examples of it. But the intent was, okay, all these special districts and boards were continuing to operate under those 2007, 2009 statutes. Let's just let them keep operating. And so they grandfathered them in, but then now we're in this limbo where we don't know whether those statutes are real or not. So I'm sorry, I don't have a better, more satisfying explanation for you guys, but Nico and I both just keep running up against the brick wall. It's like, but if they're repealed, they don't exist. So how can you grandfather them?
So the option for the board would be, to either just do what they're advising from the legal staff as far as just using those grandfather provisions and trying to follow them the best we can moving forward. Or you could dissolve, which I'm not recommending, I'm just giving you the options, dissolve the mosquito districts. End it and start the whole process all over again with the current existing regulations that are in place now on how special districts are formed. Which would require the whole thing that you guys done in the past, which is the petitions and the going on to the votes and then recreating the boundaries and going through the whole step. So we're just trying to get into current compliance with the current statutes the best we can with the ones that the grandfathers in with this resolution in bylaws. So there are options for the board, and it's certainly your guys' choice on that. With the Board of County Commissioners support on that direction, but I wanted to lay that out there.
But wouldn't you be reforming back under the mosquito district guidelines
No.
and statutes?
Nope, just the special district statute.
Special district.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because at that point, we'll have dissolved the grandfathered board. And then in order to reform, it would have to be under the special district statutes, which,
To bring you current, but there's a risk of whether or not,
yeah, a lot of hoops to jump through.
yeah, whether they get enough petitions, get enough signatures.
So you'd have to go through the signatory
Mhm.
thing again.
And likely a referendum election.
Yep.
As well.
I see.
Bunch of hearings and public comment and everything.
The other challenge with these older statutes, right, is that they can't have a legislative edit
Yep.
to a repealed statute. So it's likely, right, that if DPHHS and Department of Agriculture don't necessarily want these reports anymore, the legislature cannot go back and amend those specific statutes because they have been repealed. So they can't even,
They can't even amend.
fix it.
Well,
You just have to operate as it stands in 2007.
Regardless if it makes sense or not,
Yeah. There you
which
go.
is a funny thing.
I probably should apologize too. Devin, you two haven't really been up to, well, Dave either. We met last summer to rewrite the bylaws. And in that, we had to have a resolution first before we could write the bylaws or before we could form the district. So the county attorney's office gave us this resolution to form, tell me if I'm wrong, to form a mosquito district. We have to pass this before we can talk about the bylaws. So that's what we're discussing right now is this, and I think, Dave, I don't remember, is there any other things on this that we had heartburn on? Dale, either one? That was the only thing that we had questioned.
That was primarily.
Yeah.
I think we can work through that.
So anyway, any questions? Comments? I think this went good for both. Are they two separate resolutions, one for Craig and one for us?
Yes, Chairman, and there's two different action items, one for the Helena vote
Okay.
and then one for the Craig, and they're in the package should be both. A resolution for Helena and a resolution for Craig.
So I guess at this point, we'll work on Helena Valley first. Any additions, corrections, questions we want to deal with?
Dale did have some corrections and stuff off of hers, which I might make sure that the corrections and edits are on this one too. I think I saw,
Off the
County.
resolution,
it might have been it
I
was
think
one
it's
of them.
mostly the bylaws.
Oh, yeah, it was the bylaw.
Yeah, I think I said this seems fine to me,
Sorry, I
I-
redact that.
except for that last bit that you brought up, and I think we understand that now.
We do. Thank you.
As best we can.
Okay, if there's no questions, I'd entertain a motion to adopt the reorganization or the organization of the mosquito district board for the Helena Valley.
Make a motion. I'll second it.
Okay, then moved and seconded, we go ahead and move forward with the resolution 2025 XXX, I guess. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed? Okay. Motion's carried.
Mr. Chairman, just to give you clarification on the next steps, I guess, because you guys just voted approval. This will get presented to the Board of County Commissioners, and they'll have their signature line on this resolution that they've concurred with you guys, basically. And then the 2025 XXX will be whatever the number is in the sequence of the resolutions that they've approved. So there'll be a number there.
Okay,
There'll be like 5 or 10 or whatever. And when that gets scheduled, you guys, you as a chair or somebody from the Helena Valley could be the one to present that to the Board of County Commissioners. So we could coordinate the date for that if you'd like, it's one of their Tuesday, Thursdays meetings. Or you could ask your staff, ex officio Christian to present on your behalf to the board.
so will Craig have the same 3 digits after, or is it different?
It'll be different. It'll be like, if most likely it'll be like the
194,
the one, yeah, the
195.
one number right after that, based upon the sequence of when we get them in order. Yeah.
All right,
Okay, then
so,
I guess we'll do the same.
yes,
I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the resolution 2025 XXX.
So written. I'll second that.
No, you gotta make the motion.
No, I'll make a motion to accept it. 25XXX.
Okay, and I'll second it. Aye, say aye if you're okay with that. Okay, we're done.
all right. Now we're okay to go ahead and work on bylaw.
Yep.
Yes, do you want a couple minutes to review those, or are we, what page we're on? We're-
Yep, you're right here. You're on the right one.
Very good. I didn't bring my changes that we did. Did you happen to bring any of your stuff, Dave?
Yeah,
Bylaws, I just thought I had to bring the rest of the board up to speed as to what. This was a,
didn't we on the second thing? It's got the board should be made up of 3 residents within the district.
that, are you looking, to make sure you're not on Wolf Creek Creek, there's a, I think ours- this one says 5 residents.
Yeah.
I
So that we made that correction.
Yeah, I am.
But you're right, that was in the original presentation, and the reason for having 5 seems kind of onerous, but. If you're in a public meeting or at a bar or someplace else and 2 of you are talking,
Mhm.
it's a quorum, it's out of line and.
Yeah.
So we made
I
it
think
5.
3.
You guys are just gonna have to be careful of things, right?
Oh, yeah, because we talk a lot. All 35 of us.
Do you know how hard it is to find 3
Board members.
people, board members?
I can believe it. I think it's
They
probably
all
a challenge
think
here
the
in the
same?
valley.
Hey?
It's got 50
That
now.
think the same kinda.
One guy died, and I think that was just to get out from underneath.
That could happen, yes. I remember, Dale, do you remember any of the other?
I have a few things on mine. I don't know if they were
They're similar.
similar.
The grammatical ones that you caught are definitely similar, so we'll,
Those were just.
and misspellings.
I didn't pop one of those, but,
You got county and commission.
oh, okay. And the district area is defined in resolution.
I,
You want a map or don't? you?
yes, I went out and actually found that for you guys, had to
Okay.
go find it, it was on microfiche.
Okay.
So, yeah, and we do have it in the packet. So
Okay.
it is
Oh,
included.
all
in
right,
there.
I'm not looking at the pack.
But yes, because that's how it was defined in the resolution when it was made.
Okay. So that's-
The Helena Valley was actually descriptively explained, that's why there's the difference. So yeah, we'll have to, we sort of needed to attach the exhibit A to that, to this
Okay.
resolution, because that's how it's explained
Okay.
in the original resolution.
And that'll happen with Helena as well.
No, they don't have, theirs is actually verbally or descriptively given out.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
We're reading through this now. I have,
Well, we have to vote on it, so yeah.
well, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Members of the board shall serve at the pleasure of the Board of County Commissioners in accordance of resolution. Okay, now, for me to be a board member, and I'm 83 years old, how do I not want to be a board member today?
I think basically turn in a resignation.
Now, that's a question.
Uh-huh.
Huh,
Uh,
I,
that's it.
I was supposed to be in a Elkhorn meeting waiting today. I don't need any more meetings at my age. So what the hell?
Agree with you.
I'll help find somebody that would be really good. So how do we deal with it?
Adequate or verbal or?
I actually am not familiar with how the county does resignations from the board, but Commissioner Hunthausen might be able to.
I'm sure there's people in Wilson Park County that could be as good or better than I am, my age, for this job. So
Well, I think when you don't have a term we're serving, it's when you're ready to get out. Do we send in a resignation or what do we do?
Mr. Chair, members of the boards, yeah. You can resign anytime you want. No, wait, it's a lifetime appointment.
No.
No, you can resign anytime you want. I think
Well, I
verbally
know,
on the
but I
record
would like to.
and or in writing, if you.
I could call in today and say, I'm done, I will do it, but I would like to have it figured out, so somebody that is qualified or would be a good board member to replace me. So how do you do that?
So what we will do, Mr. Chair, is we post that and it gets advertised for 30 days that there's an opening. And we hope that someone will, if you guys are out there talking to folks, that they'll get on the county website, they'll fill out the application, and then we'll have an applicant. And then that comes before the Board of County Commissioners, we appoint that new member to the board. So we have to go through that 30-day advertising first.
Well,
But you're welcome to go out and recruit people, tell them to apply, and then we consider that
and
person.
I've really appreciated the opportunity to do it, but I'm about ready to be done doing it. So and we gotta do something different.
You were on there before I was, so I got on at 16, so it's been a lot longer than that.
So I don't know
So-
if it's being advertised now, do you know?
It has not been,
Okay.
no, so, if you would like us to, that's your verbal, if you wanna stay on until we find a
Well,
replacement.
no,
and
I'm just
advertise it,
asking,
or-
I'm not having a problem.
Okay.
But somehow, to get off to be a board member, how do you do it?
I'll just tell her that you want to get off as a board member and she'll take
Then-
care of it for you.
Then how do you appoint a new board member?
We
We'll
post it.
take care of that.
Okay.
They have to
Well, then
advertise it for 30 days.
I would like to get
Okay.
off. You find some person that I would like. I'm not saying that, but, at my age and I'm done doing these meetings. What the hell?
They need to be fun meetings instead of
Well,
work meetings.
it's
right?
all fun to a point. Huh.
So back to the bylaws. Any questions, comments,
Yes.
changes?
Yes, absolutely.
I really only had one other significant thing, I think, to mention that I had. And it's on that same item number 6 there. Terms of board members on the second page. It's vague. Shall serve at the pleasure of the Board of County Commissioners. What are these limits? What are the terms? I know then you refer to this 2011-191 about board and committee appointments. And even that doesn't give an actual number, does it?
Yeah, Chairman Darrell, it's on the handout, the Board of Committee Appointments Terms of Office. A board position with a incumbent member has completed 2 terms or 6 years, whichever is longer. So
What's a
kind
term though?
a 2 terms of, or 6 years. So
Oh,
a
so we're
term is
assuming
3
that
years.
from three-
1 term is 3 years
Yeah,
or
okay.
6 years. So
Okay, that,
as Dave was indicated, he came on a long time ago. He's been serving at the pleasure because he has far exceeded 6 years on this board. So what we'd like to talk to you guys about at the next meeting potentially is advertising the positions that are past that term limit.
mhm.
If you want to or not, and then if somebody applies, if they do apply, then the commissioners could consider that. If they don't, then what we're hoping for is that you guys would continue to serve so that we have an active board. But that's to help to get to some of Dave's questions about like, how do I actually get off of this? If I wanted to, because if there were new people that want to be interested, or, like you mentioned,
Well,
maybe somebody's not gonna apply, but at least we've had active people on the board. So that's what the Board of County Commissioners has provided for all boards,
Okay,
is a 6-year term.
I guess
Or a
I thought
6-year
on our bylaws, it would be nice to have that. Wouldn't it?
You,
for the how we-
could provide that clarification under number 6 that just says,
You know, the board,
a member of a board is 2 terms or 6 years.
Yeah.
Per resolution 191.
yeah, because if we are trying to kind of get a new person in the slot, it'd be nice to give them that number, and that's probably what I'd refer to, and not go looking for this one. Anyway,
Yep, it's my thought.
Dave,
that's all I have.
my question is, to appoint a new board member, it would be good to appoint somebody in the valley that's where mosquitoes are a problem. And I've been really happy with John, the way he's done it. But we need somebody in the valley where we have a mosquito problem. We don't need somebody up down or somewhere else.
That's Deb's job.
Now,
Huh?
That's Deb's job. She's in the heart of the mosquito valley.
Okay, well, but seriously. if
and I
you-
am
And I'm in the valley and
East Valley.
I've been really
Oh, I'm
happy with
across from the
what's
side.
going on. Some people aren't.
Right down to the lake shore there.
The county commissioners take care of that. They'll take care of somebody who's in the valley.
If they reside within the district.
Well, and are we talking about board members or contractors?
Board member.
Board
Just
members
for-
of the mosquito district.
Mr. Chair. Just for clarification for you, Dave, is that you do have to live within the special district boundaries in order to be eligible to be up.
Well, and I do.
Yeah, no, that was just clarification
Yeah,
for you.
I know.
Yeah, it'll be somebody that's within the
But
district.
whoever else replace me, I would hope they do too.
Okay, other comments?
But I hope I didn't open up a can of worms, but how did I get out of this job?
You just did.
Oh,
Okay, other. So. Back up here with Dale's proposal. Do we need to redraft that and address that next meeting?
Mr. Chairman, you could choose to do that, or you could just, vote with the motion that we would make the grammatical and those clarification changes in the bylaws. And we could send it out one more time, a final draft, before it gets presented to the Board of County Commissioners based on what we've heard you guys comment on today.
I have a question.
Okay.
Now, to get somebody that would replace me, how does that happen? How do you, because there's some radical people and there's some have common sense. How do you replace a new board member? I don't know that.
We defer to Andy.
Mr. Chair, I'll just describe it once again. So once you resign and there's an opening, we advertise that in the newspaper, we advertise it online, if there's an opening. So anyone in the mosquito district boundaries can apply. And any of you can go ask your neighbors or friends, say, hey, you should apply for this board if you want to. But we take all of those applications then and we look at them. And then the county commission, in one of our public meetings, we will choose one of the applicants to fill that spot. Now, we listen to what's in, or we read what's in the application. The application also has, you have folks that are references. So when your neighbor wants to apply and you want to be their reference and you say, this is the great guy, I want him, that's something we take under consideration. If you wanted to come to that public meeting and say, I think you should appoint my neighbor Bob, whoever, then we would take that under consideration. So,
Instead of get some radical in there that thinks they got 10 mosquitoes or.
well, we'll consider anyone who applies, but we would sure like information from you all that are working on this stuff, and that helps me make my decision whether,
Okay,
who I'm gonna vote for, so, but
well, that's my question.
there you go.
guys.
That's
Just
the
don't wanna
process.
get some radical
Right.
person that.
There you go.
You say go to our neighbor and tell them you should apply for it. I don't like getting punched in the snoot.
Yeah, well, or, you know what I mean.
Yes.
Mail them a letter and tell them to apply, there you go.
Waste his stamp.
Yeah,
So what's your pleasure? Would you like to see the changes to the draft prior to voting on it, or do you want to vote on it with the amendment?
Well, I think for far as Wolf, Craig is concerned, that would be fine with me. Be fine, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, that's the right answer.
Everybody else all right with that?
That's fine.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and make your motion. So we have it
Okay,
formally
well,
written down.
okay, let's see if I can do this. I guess I'll make the motion to accept these bylaws as written with the exception of the amendments, is that the wrong word? To be fixed before they're presented to the Board of County Commissioners.
And I will second that.
But the amendment is the 6-year
Yes.
statute in 191.
Yep, and the grammatical. corrections,
There's a
on edits. Yep.
That would pertain to both.
Yes.
You don't have to do it too. You
We're
don't have
gonna
to
do
take,
both at the same time.
okay,
This is a dual vote.
okay, oh, good.
That should keep our little gal taking notes over here.
Yeah, no.
Well entertained.
Okay.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor, and understand that we're doing this for both contracts, for both bylaws.
Aye.
All in favor signify by saying aye on the amendment.
Aye.
Okay, and then going with the bylaws as presented.
Aye.
Okay. All right, so you have your bylaws and we have an organized mosquito district.
Thank you.
It only took 3 days and 4 heart murmurs. And moving on. Okay, so our next agenda item is our annual contract status. Jenny, and we'll defer to you. Yes.
Sure, Chairman, and you tag team this as a team here in Public Works. But we're in the last upcoming season of the contract that you guys agreed to through the procurement process. We did the procurement, we solicited for contractors, JHS won that solicitation. The contract is in place, but it needs to be renewed for up to 3-year terms. So we just ended the contract that we amended. It ended December 31st, 2024. So currently, right now, there's not a contract in place other than the umbrella contract that exists. So in order to get a new contract in place for the upcoming season, it's just that really very basic contract amendment to extend the term of the contract for 1 more year and make any other changes to the contract that you guys would need. So one, it's for you guys to consider whether or not you want to provide JHS another year under that existing contract. So it'd be an amendment to get a new contract in place through December 31st of 2025. Another question we had was if you wanted to increase and look at the compensation that he was provided, because the contract allows for price adjustments, provided that the JHS notifies the county or the board by February 1st of the year. So February 1st has passed, the county did not get notification that John at JHS was asking for an increase But I don't know whether or not you guys as board members were contacted or contacted by him or not. So
So was that in the contract or how?
yes, it's in the contract. It's in the first original contract had that in their compensation shall be negotiated prior to the start of each season, 2024 season, 2025 season, and that any future price adjustments would be provided to the county or the board by February 1st of each successive years. So last year he did not did not want an increase. And so we just amended the contract with the new date and some of the deliverables that we needed from the commissioner's direction that we needed to provide. This year, it's optional whether or not there's an increase needed or not. He did not notify us, but I'm not thinking he needed notified you guys, but we could check with him on that, even though this date has passed. But we also need to do a contract amendment just to extend the year.
We need to change this meeting then, or the dates of it, so that he can. I mean, we haven't even had this, concluded this meeting, and his time is already up.
Mr. Chairman, Dave, he could call Christian as the liaison to the mosquito board and say, a lot of other contractors will submit something in writing saying, hey, I need an increase in my compensation. Or, hey, I want you to have the board consider a 2% inflationary increase. It could be done verbally or stop in the office or a phone call. Or he could have called one of you as board members or the chair. There's
Okay.
plenty of ways for him to notify. It doesn't just have to be an actual meeting.
So is he assuming that he has a contract for this year? Because I understood you say we had to approve the contract.
One more year.
Right, I don't know what John
Thinks, right?
knows or doesn't know.
Well, I think he has another year, but I don't. think
He knows he has
anybody stood
another
up
year
for
on the umbrella, but like last year, he had to sign a contract amendment to extend the term of the contract. So that's allowed. We have the ability to do that. But we need to do a formal contract amendment like we did last year when we met at the Vanilla Bean.
So wouldn't that be
Exchange the
time?
date and change the compensation. We're not looking at any other contract changes. And just getting that signed by the Board of County Commissioners that basically authorize it to go that last third year term.
So are you saying the time for a price increase is past
Um,
for him this year?
it has per the original contract, but I'm providing you guidance that you guys could ask us to check with him just to verify that he's okay with that. Because this has been a new situation for him as well.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
yeah, we don't want to
more than.
just say, no, February 1, you're done. We just would say, hey, the board wants to extend your contract by another year. We're gonna do a contract amendment to change the date now to December 31st of 2025. They would like to know whether or not you were looking at a kind of compensation increase. Do you need one? If he
Which
said,
would be another amendment, right?
I combine it in that same one. If he said, no, I don't need one, we'll just move forward with the date. If he says, yes, I'd like to bring that to the April meeting for you guys to consider the board before we finalize that contract amendment to make sure you're comfortable with what his request is.
Okay.
Because it's not my decision whether or not you guys want to honor that increase request.
I think we need to look at it because from what I'm gathering, chemicals are not, and
Okay.
Christian would know, but aren't as readily available as they were last year in the prices.
Yeah, Chair, I did go to the mosquito. In there, everything seems to be doing fairly well and
What is it?
in that regard, yeah, all that, they're able to get all their herbicides and products and stuff all over, so I think there's a little bit of, there was a little bit of encouragement to get your orders in earlier due to shipping, just to get shipping around, but the products themselves everything's sort of has stabled out.
Available?
Yeah, and available, yep.
But there are other reasons that he may need more. He's paying property taxes and those things are all going up, so I think you're right. We should ask him, I think, request of him if he would like one and to do what Jenny had just described. Do you feel that's adequate? Let him know, give him a chance to say, yeah, I would like to.
I think we need,
I
think we
need to
do,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
Cause I think there's enough confusion in the way this whole process is
Yeah,
going because he's
because it
been
is new to all of
semi-involved
us.
in this recreating the district and
Yeah.
the bylaws and
Yeah. I think
kind of
that's
uneasy as to whether
We'll
he
be
actually
better
has
next
the
year.
feeders. Yeah, hopefully.
much better.
So we don't have to go through procurement now.
We don't have to go through procurement. It's just there's an option of the existing contract that he could change his rates. or consider to change his rates. We'll do a contract amendment to change the date. Once we contact him and find out what that is, we can draft that actual amendment for you guys to review. And then, consider that at the April meeting, you can vote on that, and then we can proceed forward with getting signatures and stuff in place and get it to the Board of County Commissioners to get authorized.
Okay.
And then,
So,
Sounds good.
excuse me,
Go ahead, Dave.
am I understanding this, then we don't need to decide this right now?
no, I think you're okay until spring, summer season, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
April, we should be able to have a good contract amendment in place. If you guys agree with
Yeah.
those changes,
Yeah.
then we can get it to the board in the month of April and have a contract well in advance of when he'll start spring.
One thing that comes to mind is he has not been paid for the last half of last year's services. Is that something I understood that when he sent in the quarterly payments, or when we made the contract, county would
Wow.
issue the warrant for the payments of the quarterly.
Mr. Chairman, that's correct. We have paid every invoice he has provided us to pay. We thought he has received all of the payments that he needed to have for twenty
I
twenty-five.
know the two gals. Is there an Audrey and something with an M?
Audra and Misty, Marnie,
Marnie, that's the other one.
Audra's our
He's
financial
been talking to
attorney.
Barney and said it hasn't been approved and they were short of money, so he has $79,000 coming right now.
Okay, I will check on that for you, Chairman, but I know we processed every,
That's a big
invoice that
deal.
we had, but we might have been waiting for the latest tax revenue to come in.
He said he had volunteered on the first or the third quarter because they said they were short of.
Okay,
revenue.
that's probably why. And then
Talking
property
about-
taxes bill went out a little bit later than normal. And I know they just got those processed in January, so we will get whatever's paid to him that's owed. But yes, we have processed the invoices.
My understanding was last year, and maybe this is maybe done again, but when we signed the contract and the payment schedule was agreed, was a bill to be submitted at that time? My understanding was that that really wasn't necessary, that the payment could be issued, but maybe I'm wrong on that.
Mr. Chairman, you're not wrong. There was confusion about what was meant by that payment schedule versus the deliverables that we had in that last contract amendment. So what we were asking for was an actual invoice for him so that we had some record.
Well, he always has done an invoice in the past, so I signed a warrant. for it,
Right,
And he took
right.
it up, gave it to Nancy and she paid it.
Right.
Off they went.
Right, but there was also, the same process existed. We just wanted a little bit of deliverables associated with that invoice so that we had proof about what was being paid. And that was part of the Board of County Commissioners. If you go back and listen to Commissioner Payne and some of those comments they made at the Board of County Commissioners with that amendment was they also wanted the staff to verify that there was
So
work
with
done
each of the-
associated with that invoice.
So the deliverables that were on that amendment, all of these things would go in with each payment,
Yes.
for each billing.
Yes, and he did provide those, and those were authorized and signed off by Christian, and then they were submitted for payment.
Okay,
So he's following what we laid out, which we had no concerns with.
so it's just getting.
That
through the
last one.
finance.
It's probably just to make sure there's enough revenue in there to pay that last invoice that we received, if that's.
That was the only thing I was thinking about in the contract is, do we need to look at wordage in there to make sure that he is getting paid, being everything's changing?
I don't believe so, no, not since we've got the clarification to this point done.
Okay. So we need a motion to make an amendment and
A motion to amend the contract for one more year, and then I'll ask staff to check with John about whether or not he needs any rate changes for you to consider in the April.
okay,
meeting.
so two items.
Yep, it's the honoring the contract terms and telling you, we want to proceed with one more year
And then get the rating.
and then try to get the rate increase or whatever that is, if there is any. Yeah.
All right,
I'll make a motion.
all right. I'm gonna hold you to that date.
Thank you.
Second.
it.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Board member discussion and comments. I'd like to, I guess, look at the budget and get some
Yeah.
clarifications there, I guess I talked a little bit about.
Needs a budget review.
Where do we look? These numbers,
It's in the
pages are not numbered.
The last-
Very bad.
Very bad.
Okay.
And Mr. Chairman, I think that does kind of go to what you were discussing about, if you look at the fiscal year 25 budget and the year to date, so that is through December 31st, 2024. If you look at the total revenue that came in up on top, the maintenance and assessment says 161. Typically, you're around the $300,000 range, so that's because we only received half of the property taxes for the year, so they're waiting for May to get the other half. And then when the professional services down on the total expenses, we have expended 228,000 for John at JHS. And you see there that we're under the revenue coming in, so we're negative right now, 67,000. But there is cash balance. That's what makes me wonder whether or not there's some confusion about whether or not that can be paid, because there is cash in the bank that could pay that while we're still waiting for the revenue to come in May. So
We roll over.
so the idea was, yeah, you would have enough funding there. So that just shows you what revenue is coming in, and then what expenses you haven't paid to date. And then what our ending projected ending cash balances is. This is only halfway through the fiscal year.
So the professional services under fiscal year 24 show 125. That would be half of his contract. That would be what was actually spent out
Yeah,
right here.
yep, Mr. Chairman, that's correct. So our fiscal
that was
year is
billed, yes.
July 1 through June 30th. And the mosquito season, of course, covers both fiscal years.
So
so-
we pay it out of two budgets.
We had to pay it out of fiscal year 24 budget, and we're paying some of it out of fiscal year 25 budget. Yep. So that's why with the 125 and the 228 added together, I'll have to go back and double check,
Our
but
total
I,
budget's only 310,000, so.
right,
But I guess I was thinking, is that reflecting only half of the payment to him?
no,
This
because
is a
fiscal year
budgetary
20,
item.
fiscal year 24 is closed. So we paid 125 last fiscal year and 228 so far this fiscal year. And then this summer, when he starts doing work again, we'll probably pay the other
Yeah.
similar 125 at the tail end, and then the rest of it next fiscal year. It's really confusing because your mosquito season covers multiple fiscal years, if that makes sense.
Well, I'm having trouble getting my arms around it, because if we're in fiscal year 25 and we've already paid $228,000, we only got a $300,000 budget.
Right.
We hadn't even started the season yet.
We have started the season.
We haven't paid John and we haven't spent anything
We-
else.
So the season, the 2024 season would have started at the end of fiscal year 24 and the beginning of fiscal year 25.
Which would have been July.
Which would have been
July.
probably May/July. So we paid some
So
of
the
it in,
125 here would be reflected of up till July 1 then?
yes,
Okay.
and then moving forward. And so when we get the new contract in place, there might be some bills in May, June for this fiscal year that will be within the range of the 310,000. And then next fiscal year, you'll have a different official budget.
Okay.
And Mr. Chairman, and what I can maybe do in April when we look at the budget is maybe bring you when those invoices came and when they got paid by month. So we can bring in 2024 season together, and some of them might be fiscal year 24, some of them might be, so we'll forget about the fiscal years. We'll do it more as a mosquito season.
That would work.
Would that help a lot? And then we can do from the accounting side, the accounting's a little bit different, but from a mosquito season, we'll do a budget by mosquito season. That'll be fun.
Would life not be easier for everybody if all of our budget datelines were January 1st through December 31st?
Well,
That
it'd
might
make
be
a lot more
easier.
sense accounting wise.
Isn't that It's not just common sense.
And then we have federal, which the federal is
Oh, no,
August
it's-
is the September 30th to October 1st, which is
my
another
gosh.
complication.
Okay,
But we'll do that.
that would be great.
How about Wolf Creek Craig? Is it- our Budget is.
Oh,
That's,
that one's easier.
yeah, it was.
Why this is almost over budget there. Yeah, they
Could-
could together.
Mr. Chair, it could have been when things were turned in and which budget year they were paid out.
That's the thing.
You sort of see what I'm saying, like, do you,
24.
like you paid for part of the work that was done in the spring, but it had gone past July. So that's, still got paid for that season, but it
What
was
would be under
not
25.
represented in the end of fiscal year 24.
That's confusing.
I hope that maybe makes sense.
Well, I kind of sound, I hear where you're coming from and I understand it, but then I add that 125 and that 228 together. And that's telling me that's over the budget. You know, and how that can happen because we haven't spent any money this year. We spent lots last year. We spent it all.
It is over your revenue budget,
Mhm.
but it's not over your available cash. So you guys are still you're not getting enough mills of revenue based upon your expenses.
Is this
And
reflecting?
you're using some of your cash balance to cover that contracted expenses. Eventually, you're gonna have to either look at another mill increase if there's ceiling available to do that, or lower your contract
I
amount.
thought we maxed it last year.
Yeah.
We did max it out.
So after a couple of years, can you re-max that or does that stay maxed? For what's
Well,
available?
your mill value is gonna change. If you recall, we had Frank, our CFO, or Frank Cornwall come and present. The amount of revenue that those mills equate to is gonna change over time. And who knows what the legislative session where property taxes and mills are gonna go. So you guys are fine probably for the next couple of years, but we'll have to look at that moving forward.
Well, I thought in our minutes, it says we increased
We did.
the mill levy.
You did, to try to compensate the increase in the contracting.
Oh,
And we won't really know how much revenue you coming in for fiscal year 25 until the end of this fiscal year, based on what does that do for property tax
They
level.
allowed this 2% or
Yep,
some kind of a percent that you could do to max.
Mhm.
it. So if we were to go for more mills, we'd actually have to go out for a vote.
You would, if you had to change that ceiling.
We'll have more Californians moving up here shortly, so we can reset
Yeah, you'll get more property tax from.
several years.
get it out of them.
Yes. Okay, questions on the budget? We don't need any action on the budget. Basically, all we need to do is get with Dave and get a contract and then we're sailing. Okay.
I guess I have a question.
Mhm.
How come simple in here? He's the one doing it. Sometimes
The
in the
new,
years past, had some input.
if I understand it correctly, he is a contractor now and is not privy to what the board does.
Okay.
He is not, we have to keep
But-
him separate, so when we go out for procurement, he can independently bid the job.
Okay. But sometimes it's
It
kind
helps.
of, when you're working with the person you're working with, to have some input into it, as you well know.
Oh, yeah. We talked great length last summer about that and the new county policy is
Okay.
And Mr.
Oh,
Chairman,
separation.
Well, it's
you
just-
as board members could choose to have him on the agenda to provide the presentation on the work that he's done and the work plan. So,
but sometimes he has some
sure.
input that's important that we don't know about. So I just was,
Or
in years past, he's been here, I think. At these
Mhm.
meetings,
or he could attend during public comment.
Right.
Where it was getting a little gray is when you were just specifically asking him, do you want an increase? And he said, yeah, and it wasn't actually a board action that you voted upon, and that type of thing, just watching
but I think,
that kind of approach.
I always kind of think it's important that the person doing the job has some input into what's going on, the problems of the costs and all that, but I just asked.
I felt the same as you did. I thought it was a good asset, but we have to bid that whole thing now and it has to go out.
Without their input, huh?
But he
I
could
think
come.
their input's important.
We could come.
We
and
could
do a
invite him to
presentation.
come in April and describe what last year was like
I agree.
and
Fight,
what he.
county, whatever.
Predicting, just put him on the
Yeah.
agenda, because we want to know this stuff too. We want to hear how it's going, what he had to do. Yeah, I think we should do
More than
that for
happy to do
April.
that, I know that.
Yes.
Now, I have another, I guess I have a question. Is this all up for bid from somebody else other than Temple or?
Not this year,
not
next year.
this Okay, well.
So it's
maybe
next
South,
year,
and that's why,
fiscal year 2026?
Mr. Chairman, yeah, Jackie, it would be before next mosquito season, which would be April, May timeframe, so we'll probably
Do
have to
that
start the process again
early.
earlier than we did this the first time. Most likely this late summer. We can
Oh,
get that started
that'll-
so that, you know, so that winter you're reviewing applications, then you have time to get a contract in place. But what the good news is we have a pretty good procurement because it's not that old. We can dust. For a formal procurement.
wouldn't you like to have some input?
It takes time to advertise and,
How long is it posted?
What the hell?
For how long?
usually we do 2 Helena independent record, timeframe. So usually I think it's 20-25 days, roughly.
Were there any other applicants besides John?
There was no other applicants last time. There was one company from Idaho that missed the timeframe, said they were interested, so it's hard to say, you know. And so then there's a scoring committee that you guys would hopefully, April, maybe we can talk about who might want to be on your scoring committee, because we won't have another meeting again until the fall. And that way we could start the process, so that would be another topic for the potentially April meeting on building that team out again for your guys' upcoming procurement.
It'd be hard to get someone from Idaho if you have a big mosquito population. They have to come from Idaho to here.
Mr. Chairman, we'd have to look at what their proposal was. Sometimes they have staff that they have locally.
Oh, okay.
They're just an Idaho company.
Okay.
Sometimes they use drones. Sometimes they hire local subcontractors. So we'd have to evaluate what their proposals were.
Mhm.
I can't speculate on how they think they would provide those
Right,
services.
okay.
or
I
handle
just think
complaints.
it's important to have your person that's a contractor, wherever, John or an out-of-state person to represent what their thought and what they're doing.
Sure.
I just think it's really important to this board to know what their thought is.
Mhm.
I've bid jobs in a lot of things, but it's important to, I think you have the person that's doing the job involved. So you
When
think,
you're doing that procurement, those were all written proposals. They weren't personal interviews on any.
Mr. Chairman, they were written proposals, but sometimes we can provide the option that if you have more than one, you can choose to do interviews as well.
that's not
So,
it is.
A road or a bridge, we've actually done interviews with the consultants, and then basically you have 8 come in, you get it down to 3 or 4, you do interviews, and then you make your selection from there. So it's kind of a screening, almost like you're hiring somebody to go forward. Sometimes written proposals is all you need. Sometimes you don't need to have the interviews, but yes. And in that case, for the one with the written, we have, everybody knew John and knew of his abilities, so, and they provide references too, we can always check. So, yeah, I know Daryl and you guys folks sat on the scoring committee, it's kind of saw that process. Dave did as well. It wasn't as challenging when you only have one. If you had multiple submittals, it's a little bit tougher on the scoring, but that's.
It was a good
I did it
process.
for-
I can see now where it would, it'd work.
Okay, great. Good. Nice to hear that.
We can
Cute.
refine, the one that we did
I
better-
should
to
think
be- to
you
better-
would.
to
Yes.
better suit us, so,
There
yeah.
needs to be coffee there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and coffee.
Levine one.
No being again.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
just a comment, to clarify, Keegan, tell me if I'm wrong, but this is a public meeting, so Mr. Semple can be here if he'd like, and he can answer questions if the board has a question for their current contractor, if they want a presentation from their current contractor, they want their contractor to tell them how they're doing it, what they're doing. You're welcome to ask him all those things. You could ask him to come each meeting and tell you what he's doing, what he's been up to, and how he spent your money. That's all good. And he can also speak at public comment time and ask anything he wants, or tell you, hey, next year I want to raise, he can do anything he wants at that public comment time. And you can consider it. What I think we don't want him to do is be bellied up here acting or looking like, or even being perceived as another board member. And just having discussion with the board like he's one of you.
And I can understand.
That's not legal probably,
Okay.
nor is it okay in terms of being a contractor in the whole ethical process of, so
Yeah.
he's welcome here anytime. You can ask him all the questions you want and you can have him present. So please don't think that he's not
Welcome here.
welcome. We just have to have some separation between contractor and employer, or that risk thing comes back into play. Because somebody could say, you know what, John Stemple's just a rubber stamp and nobody else gets a chance
And
and
I don't
he gets
agree
the
with
money. Right,
that, but I
so
think he could have some input that would be
absolutely,
good.
that's up to you guys. You can ask him anything you want. And invite him to all your
Partly My
meetings.
fault then, because, yeah, the test I got is when we started going through this bylaws and all this. He wasn't to be here.
Oh,
talk
he
about it.
can be here. Anybody can be here. This is public meeting.
Yeah, the only thing I would add is just when the procurement process starts up again, during the procurement process, there's really
Right.
strict rules about who the contractor will talk to. So like during the procurement process, don't talk to
Which makes
John.
sense.
Right, he couldn't take you to copy and say, hey, man, you gotta pick me, you gotta pick me.
Or
Yeah,
like,
it's not-
what does my bid need to come in at?
Yeah,
Right, and that's the big no.
so we can't do that or we're in trouble, and that
Yeah.
whole risk factor comes back. So we're just trying to keep that separation, but for John to be participatory here, and I mean, he's been a fantastic contractor all these years. and
Well,
He has so much knowledge and all that, that's all good, but
Mhm.
when we do the procurement process, it has to be above board or we could be in trouble.
If there's expenses that we don't see and he sees and all that, we need to know that.
Right. So thank you, Mr. Chair. Sorry to interrupt.
No
No,
problem.
that's good. Clarification.
Public comment time is all about.
Did we
Um,
need to, do you want to discuss anything about the budget? Our budget? I'm so kind of confused about what you're going to make better, the way you lay this spreadsheet out, knowing what was spent in 24, and it hasn't yet been spent in 25. It's just very good. So's my taxes. Doing November and then they're doing it on a different year.
Your cash flow sheet might stay the same, but we'll just try to do a 2024 mosquito season, 2025 mosquito season snapshot or something.
Something,
Yeah, something like that.
unless you get it. I have trouble. Math, it's not my thing. So if you get that done before the April meeting, can you just send it to all of us so we can look at it and figure out if we have more questions?
As soon as we get it, pulled together, we can, we just have to have some place in time. Whether that's, the end of March or
Yeah.
the end of February, so we have a clear
Mhm.
cutoff on how we came up
Gotcha.
with those numbers that we.
Yeah.
calculated.
By April anyway.
Yeah, but before April, so
Yeah.
if we say, end of February, we get it wrapped up in March, we can get it sent out as soon as we get that pulled together. Yeah.
Okay.
Be good.
Just so it's a heads up and maybe it would make everything clearer in April.
And easy.
After.
Okay, any other public comment? The only other agenda item I don't know. Says the board at the first annual meeting shall elect a member, shall select from its membership a chair and a vice chair for the board.
Happen in April.
What's that?
We should, those probably will be enforced. I would say the following year after these are resolution is accepted and totally like,
So we need to wait for. the
so I
commissioners
wait
to-
till, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that voluntary exit, I guess. All right, no more public comments. I guess we're not having an election, so next meeting is April. I guess we'll be notified kind of as a date.
I love the choices, whoever did that, that's nice. I do like that.
If that works great for you guys, Jay can do the
Then
same
you
thing.
like being able to choose a date that works, yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay. The only other thing that I've got is Dave has turned in his resignation, and it's a little bit more formal than. Guess that would go to the commissioners or to you or.
Jade as the,
Okay.
as your staff assistant, and she'll get those to. commissioners.
Oh,
Oh, you did?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
You're getting too goddamn old too.
for you?
Yep.
Well, I have to say, I've been on this board since they established the mosquito district, I
Dang.
think in '83.
Oh, wow.
So I
Talk
can
about
do the
old
same
wood.
thing. You say I can walk out anytime?
Anybody can. We hope that you want to keep serving, but you can do it anytime you want. Yep.
I don't think, how do you know how long you've been here?
Because his other
1, 2,
wife
3.
set it up. He remembers those dates.
I'm like you, I don't know how long, but it's getting, how old are you?
75.
Shit, I'll be 83 here.
Congratulations.
Well, I'm just, it's not as much fun as it used to be. But,
I can agree with that.
and I'm really proud to what's happened here. It's been wonderful. I've been on a long time, I don't know, but it's been great and there's been a lot of accomplishments made.
Yeah. Was this
I
starting?
live in the Helen Alley in 1969, 70, 71. You go down there on the creek, you couldn't hardly friggin' breathe.
No. that's
I
not
mean,
true.
People don't even
Mosquitoes.
realize how
That
bad the
was.
mosquitoes were years ago.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Come a long ways.
It's come a long way.
Yeah, and actually very few people doing it at that time. We've got a lot of people paying.
There was
now.
nothing doing it. It was just fighting the mosquitoes, but
Well, I think we've gone out there sampling and knowing where to go out and spray and do the most effective
he,
job.
in my opinion, he's done a really good job. And he's like the rest of us, he's got no too.
Mhm.
I don't think he's gonna be squirting mosquitoes much longer. Flying his airplane, I don't know.
With 3 more years, I think his certificate. He has an end date on his flight certificate. I think.
How old is John? He's gotta be 70, late 70s or 70 something.
I think he's 70 or 71. I don't know, he might
I don't know how old he is, but
be a little younger than I am.
I've known him for a long time. He used to spray my crops years ago
Yeah.
when he first started.
Away from that.
He come from up north, yeah. Huh. I think he's been a really, really good help for our mosquito problem. And had good help. In my
What I
opinion.
worry about is when we go to replace him, if we've got the buy-in, because you don't find very good guys that are sitting out there waiting for dusk to come so he can start his airplane and go out and spray. Cause he knows mosquitoes are laying down. You know.
Well, and he knows where to
How
go
many
and
nights I've sat
knows
there
all
and
the
sat it.
farmers and ranchers and where he can get on and where he can't and where he can do it. That's worth a lot.
Oh, boy. It's gonna take somebody else to replace him a long time to reestablish that, even if they followed him around.
And you know what? I'm in the middle of Helen Valley. I don't hear complaints. Once in a great while, just because he's flying,
Mhm.
but I've never heard bad complaints about him.
No.
And I see him flying and doing these things on the waterways and the drain ditches and doing these things. I've never heard bad complaints. So,
No, and most of his work is done off the back of a four-wheeler than it is in the
A
air.
lot of
'Cause
it
he's
is. Yep,
always, just
yep,
about
yep.
every day got
it's
guys
not all
out
the aerial
there
thing.
dipping or fogging, you know.
I know it, and he does a lot of that, really a lot, dipping and going out, and he's been on my plates even,
Mhm.
dipping and checking.
And we'll get a wet year here one of these days. We'll find out how well he did.
Well, maybe it's this year, if the goddamn snow don't quit and it warms up.
No, we were complaining about no snow here a while ago. Hasn't even
Not
been 2
me.
Weeks ago.
This snow we're getting is take 5 gallon bucket to make a teaspoon.
Yeah, right. Pretty dry stuff, yeah. But it is white. All right, our meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming and bearing with me.
Thank you.
Not real sure about the new.
You do a really good job.